stop to think about how many people were involved in making your lunch today? Unless you grew your own lettuce and raised your own chickens, you're depending on the work of countless individuals from across the country, or maybe even the world, to assemble your sandwich. Even more fascinating is that all those people started working on your meal a long time before you even ever thought of having a sandwich for lunch. Think about it. The farmer who grew the grain that had to be milled into flour to make bread probably had to sow some seeds about a year or two ago. The lettuce you're eating had to grow for a few weeks before it could be harvested. And those are only 2 of the ingredients that make a sandwich. And the craziest part is none of the people involved in making your lunch have any idea of who you are. So how did this all happen? One of the fundamental tenets of libertarian thought is actually just an observation about the way the world works. Human beings have a propensity to come together and trade things. You'll give me what I want and I'll give you what you want. Even children do this. They make lemonade and sell it on their front porches in the summer for dimes and quarters. And why do they do this? Because it makes both parties happier. It makes them better off. Libertarians believe in expanding trade so that not just 2 people, but thousands and millions of people can interact with one another to make each other happier. But how do you zoom out from 2 kids trading Pokemon cards and make it possible for the whole world to get themselves some Pokemon cards? How does that lettuce grower and that chicken farmer know that I'm gonna want a chicken sandwich for lunch today? How do we coordinate? The answer is markets. We all experience this marvel of market coordination every day. But if you're anything like most people, you probably rarely stop to think about it. So let's take a closer look. Markets facilitate cooperation between countless individuals in 3 ways: property rights, prices, and profit and loss. A property right is the exclusive power to determine how something in your possession is used. So if I own a plasma TV, I have the exclusive right to forbid others from taking or watching my TV. If I own a lettuce farm, I have the exclusive right to choose what to do with that lettuce. I can eat it, I can sell it, I can even destroy it. But how does blocking others from sharing my property bring people together? Property rights encourage people to produce things for both themselves and others for 2 reasons. First, if you don't legally own the lettuce you grow, protecting it gets difficult pretty quickly. Someone can just come and snatch it. Second, if you're forced to share everything you own with everyone around you, you're less likely to put much effort into producing and preserving it in the first place. Societies that have tried to operate without property rights have usually learned this lesson the hard way. The Pilgrims, for example, tried a system of communal property at first. They quickly learned that no one really wanted to work very much, as long as the fruits of their labor had to be shared with everyone in the group. So they switched to private property. The second way markets allow people across the globe to coordinate is by packaging information about wants and needs, costs and scarcities into one simple signal: prices. Imagine for a minute that you and your family are planning to build a treehouse in your backyard. You decide on a budget, drop the plans, and price out all the materials you'll need. But just as you get ready to build your treehouse, a hurricane hits Louisiana and tragically destroys a bunch of homes. People in Louisiana now need plywood to board up their homes, and they're willing to pay more to get it. So the price of plywood doubles. 2 things happen. 1, you respond by downsizing your original plan, delaying your treehouse project, or scrapping it altogether. Other people around the country will do the same. 2, suppliers across the country respond to this new higher price by shipping more plywood to Louisiana. You might be really upset about this price change, but stop and think about it for a minute. The fact that you're no longer buying plywood is actually a really good thing. It means that people in Louisiana who desperately need wood can now get it. Wouldn't you have felt terrible if people in Louisiana had not been able to get the wood they really needed because you built a treehouse? The price change that occurred coordinated the actions, wants, and needs of the Louisiana homeowners, the plywood suppliers, and you, the treehouse builder, in a way that made everyone better off. The final key to how markets coordinate the trade of millions of people is the profit and loss system. People often see profit as a dirty word, but profits and losses, like prices, are important signals that direct resources to where they have the most value. People that produce things other people like do well. They make money and stay in business. People that produce things we don't need or that turn out to be of low quality will lose money and eventually go out of business. The profit and loss mechanism ensures that resources are used to produce things people truly want. If you're wasting resources or you're producing something no one wants, you'll eventually close up shop. Profits entice people to constantly think about new ways in which they can make other people's lives better. It leads people to use their faculties in ways that are creative, imaginative, and revolutionary. From Facebook and Uber to the iPhone and 3D printers, the market rewards entrepreneurs for coming up with ideas that have the potential to change the whole world. Some of that reward is the positive feeling of helping others, and some of it is the goodness of the deed for its own sake. But the lure of profits is an important piece of the engine that drives people to dedicate their lives to inventing, innovating, and improving the lives of others. So to summarize, property rights, prices, and profit and loss are the three essential pieces of the market process that help us as a society connect through trade. And to top it all, markets also ensure that every time I buy something, both me and the guy I'm buying from are better off. We all gain from trading in markets.